Good morning. Welcome to week 10. I'm just so excited that we're over the half mark of the semester. I'm excited about all that you guys have learned up to this point, just really how you've grown as an academic, really those viewpoints of really how do we attack academic assignments regardless of what class that you're in or what profession that you're going to go into. You've actually learned all the skills and have been practicing the skills that we're going to need for this week's assignment. So, for the past few weeks, we've talked about rhetoric, we've talked about facts, we've talked about logical fallacies that we can see in not just print ads, but also just in life in general. We've looked at the audience, we looked at how people are saying things and what they're saying and how the audience receives that. We've talked about taking the emotion out of our research in order for us to find truths and to find solid evidence. People can make claims all day long, but if they really don't have the evidence to back it up, it really is conjecture. And it's been a lot of work. But I feel that you guys are becoming more comfortable with how to utilize your tools in order to find those truths. This week, I just really want to talk about the assignments that we're going to be completing this week. You've already been tested on the rhetoric chapter, which is, I believe, chapter 10. Um, you've been doing a lot of writing. Actually, I do have a lecture video on rhetorical analysis that I'll place into this week's module for you to review just to kind of get your feet wet back. But again, we've been practicing all of these skills that you're going to need in order to complete this assignment. One of the part of the title of this class is academic research and rhetoric. And I hope that you've made that connection that rhetoric is very important. People can say a lot of things, but if it's not truthful, if it's not grounded in facts and evidence, then really it is just conjecture. We've seen the evidence of the verbal ellipsis through sound bites and how it affects us emotionally, and realizing the importance of when we are trying to seek truths, when we are completing research, that we really need to have that objective tone. We need to step out of our emotions, step out of ourselves in order to really weigh the information that we're receiving evenly and objectively in order for us to really determine those truths. So this week, we've been doing a lot with the presidential elections. We've done some speeches. Even earlier, we looked at just regular ads where we were doing logical fallacies and really utilizing those tools of logical fallacies and how they are present and how people utilize them in order to sell their wares. Well, in a political campaign, they're trying to sell you on voting for them for a particular job. And we can take it to a different level. Yeah, they are applying and they are being interviewed by the American public. And we have to look at their track records. We have to look at the truths of how they have conducted themselves in order for us to make an informed decision, because when they get hired, it's our tax monies that are providing their paycheck. And so you as the adult, if you're 18 years or older, and if you have the right and that privilege to vote in the United States, that how you look at that. And if you're in any type of hiring situation, you want to take those things into consideration, because it's actually your money that's keeping them there. So where we've been on the more of that federal with the presidential election that's going on this week, I wanted to kind of back off of that and bring it a little closer to home, because really those state governments and those things that are affecting us here in the state of Virginia, or if you are from another state, affects you at home, because those are the policies that are going to be enacted on the state level. And so this week, I've done much what I did with last week with the arguments. I have placed in your module a organized information organizational chart. And so this week, you are still going to stay in the same realm of Republican and Democrat, but you're going to choose the senatorial candidates. We have a lot of senator races and all over the United States at this point that you're going to be voting on next Tuesday, a week from today. And so I really wanted to, kind of expose you to that as well. So if you are not a student that is living and able to vote in the state of Virginia, and you're from another state, you need to look at the candidates that are running. If by chance you are from a state that does not have a senatorial race that's going on right now, please reach out to me so we can process through that and really how you need to attack this assignment and what we can utilize. So please reach out to me as soon as possible before your discussion boards are due, because that's midweek and you don't want to wait till the middle of the week to really start this research. Okay, so instead of doing a print ad, we're going to look at the political ads, the commercials that they put on TV. And so you are going to choose an ad from the Republican candidate and the Democratic candidate. And some of you are, what if there's an independent running? I would like to stick with the Republican Democrat because really those are the strongest two. Not that I agree with the fact that, it's always going to be one or the other. But at this point, I just would like to keep everybody Republican and Democrat at this moment. Not to say that there hasn't been independents that have won seats. So if that's you and you want to do an independent, reach out to me, and let's process through that to see that the best, because if they are already in that seat, if you are not in the state of Virginia, because we do have some people who are independents from other states, and if they are the returning candidate that is seeking to be reelected, obviously you need to have that person in there. So yeah, one of your people has to be already a sitting senator that is seeking reelection, and then the other would be the opposing party, be it either Republican or Democrat. Okay, so there's a lot of different political ads out there. Go on YouTube. So in Virginia, we have Mark Warner. We have Amanda Chase is running for governor. But we have Mark Warner. We have Freitas. We have Spanberger. Spanberger is a Democrat. Freitas is a Republican. So just kind of look, and you would just type in their name, and you would say the political ads for Spanberger, the political ads for Freitas, and they'll have ads. And you are able to choose because there's going to be more than one. Okay, so you're going to choose 2 commercials. I'm going to say this now, but I'm going to repeat myself later. You need to make sure that those links to those commercials are in your initial thread, because you need to watch, if you're going to respond to someone's initial thread, you need to watch the videos that they watched. And so we need to make sure that they are available. So you're going to embed that link to the URL for that particular ad. Okay. Then what you have, I've already done a lot of the work for you. In the chart, it has all of the logical fallacies that are listed in chapter 26. Now, I didn't put the definitions, but you have that in your textbook. Okay, so this is how I would attack this assignment. I would watch the ad and I would list the things that really stood out to you. Okay, those important key factors, things that could affect someone who's watching that commercial. Then I would go back to your logical fallacies and that list and go through each one of those, read the definition, and what logical fallacies would that example that you pulled from that ad, what it would represent. You're not going to have all of them. Okay, some of you may have a lot of them, some may not, but you'll probably have a few. To make sure that you have addressed all the logical fallacies, if a logical fallacy does not apply, put NA in the box. So that way you know that you've looked for it and you didn't see it. Okay, so you're going to do that for both ads. So at the top of the columns, I have, listing the candidate and the party in those 2 columns. The far left column is where I've listed the logical fallacies. And then I also have some questions that I need you to answer that need to be filled for both sides. Okay. And you really need to do a good job with that. Am I going to give you a 300 word count? No. Remember that this research that you are completing, you will need in order to write the paper this week. So you want to do a good job. Okay. It'll have the URLs. I need for you, like I said, to include that in your initial thread at the bottom so people can access that. Okay, so make sure that you complete that grid or that organizational chart completely, and that you really have addressed each one of those, and that you really were looking. Because I would say go through, identify the ones that things that stood out to you, but you're going to be reading through those logical fallacies. Once you've really familiarized yourself with that, you watch the video again. Did you miss something? So go back and see if you can identify. It could be something very subtle, like the color of their tie. It could be the background. It could be the music. It could be anything that they are trying to create a narrative and a tone for whomever is watching this. Okay. And again, I want you to take, you have to be objective in this particular assignment. So put yourself in the independent seat. In fact, I did ask that because a lot of what rhetoric is who's the audience? Who are they speaking to? And is it effective to that particular audience? Are they just speaking to Republican people? Are they just speaking to Democratic people? But I can tell you there's a lot of independents out there, and they're trying to get that independent vote. Okay, so I would kind of look at this as you're an independent and you are seeking knowledge from both of these candidates in order to make the best decision. Okay, so once you've completed everything, you are going to copy and paste that chart and put it back into your initial thread like you did 2 weeks ago when we were doing the argument paper. Same concept. At the end of it, make sure again that you have those 2 links there so we can have easy access. What I would say is I've put this organizational chart in your module this week. Download it, save it so you can fill it out in the Word, so you can edit it, and then when you've saved it, then you're going to load it into your discussion board, or you're going to be copying and pasting it into your discussion board. Okay. Now for your rhetorical analysis, where you're going to get deeper, again, you've done all of the research and the footwork in order to get the information for the actual analysis. This time, you're only going to choose one of the people that you have researched in your discussion board, and that's who you're going to write on. If you were doing both, it would be a lot more than a 5-page paper. Okay, so this is a 3 to 5 page paper. I want you to select one of the people that you have researched on your discussion board. Okay, and that's the topic for your rhetorical analysis. You need to review that chapter on rhetorical analysis and what is made up of the rhetorical analysis. Remember, rhetoric, at the core of it, is intent. And then what are they using in order to support and persuade whomever is listening to them in order to be in agreement with them? People do not say things haphazardly, or they shouldn't, rather. But especially in these ads, they are very purposeful. How they are created, what they're wearing, what they're saying, the views and the images that they use, all of that is very purposeful. And you as the consumer are getting deeper into that in order to see what their intent was. And if they are giving you facts about who they are, or if they are talking about the other person and this person is wrong or whatever, guess what? You have to research that. You have to research their what they stand for. So that's where that argument research comes in, because not only are you just looking at the commercial, now you have to go back and you have to fact check everything that they're saying. So when you were writing down those important things that stood out to you, you also need to be writing down what were the main points that they were trying to get across in this commercial. What were they saying that their track record was? And if they were using the opponent and saying, well, this person has never done that, then you need to check to see if that is a true fact as well. Okay, so you are doing a lot of research on that. Like I said, the main thing is the discussion board is looking at the commercial. The rhetorical analysis, you're going deeper into where you're researching everything about that. You're looking for facts, you're looking at technique, you're looking at intent. At the end, you are going to, what is the outcome of your research? Who is, was this person effective? Were they truthful in what they said? Could be that their commercial was very effective visually, could actually persuade a lot of people. But then if you get into the facts of what they're saying and you realize that it wasn't completely true, what does that say about that person? Okay, again, we are focusing on the senatorial races in the state that you live, the state that you are registered to vote, or I hope that you are registered to vote. Okay, because that's a liberty. That's a right. Not everybody has that right. Okay, so it should be something that's very exciting to you that you have that. You have that say, you have your voice. So I hope that that's helpful. Your initial threads are due Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when we're in class. Your final threads are due on Sunday for that discussion board, as well as your rhetorical analysis on one of the senatorial candidates. Okay. Now, talking about your reply threads on your discussion board real quick. You need to watch the videos. If you're responding to someone's initial thread, you need to watch those videos. Look at how they have perceived that information. Do you think that maybe one thing that they're using as an example is not an example of that, and why? Did they miss something? How did you receive that commercial? Okay. Again, academically, clinically, not emotionally. Okay. Remember, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Okay. But emotion has to stay out of this. You have to look at this for facts, for how they're presenting themselves, because you're going to get a truer sense of who these people are if you do that. Okay. And so that's basically it this week. I am reading through your redos for your synthesis paper and your argument paper, and so I'll be getting those posted. I'll see you guys in class. I hope that you guys have started this research and this process in order to complete this assignment by the end of the week, so we can continue to move forward as we are getting closer to the end. Within the next couple weeks, we're going to be starting our final projects, which are going to be evaluations. And again, utilizing a lot of the skills that we have been taught and have been practicing through all these assignments, you'll be utilizing a lot of those skills again. So I'm excited. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing each of you guys in class on Wednesday or Thursday. Bye.